Thank you everyone. Thank you Vivek for this, and my apologies. My younger one's a little unwell, तो टिकट करा के फिर हो ना पाया, तो विवेक was kind enough कि भैया आप फिर एटलीस्ट जूम पे तो प्रेजेंट कर दो. So I'm very happy to be here and hearty congratulations Mr. Bajaj. Well done, your first book, and I am the proudest in this world. It's an amazing moment. बहुत ही गरिमा की बात है. Okay, so I will start first with what's happening in the Middle East and the impact on India. A lot of the analysis that you will see is very simple. You know, I do a lot of 2x2s. It will help you think through the issues yourself. I have invested in a few defense startups in India. I have also taken some knowledge from them. I hope their knowledge also benefits you in analyzing how and what is happening. First thing, as you can see, I'm just starting with the headline. Lot of restaurants in India have closed down, and this is the typical headline you will see, that LPG cylinders are in scarcity. There are two reasons for it. One is, as soon as you expect a shortage, people start hoarding, and once people start hoarding expecting shortage, prices start shooting up. So it becomes a chicken and egg issue. So because the war has just started a few days back, to have such shortages, typically what tends to happen is people start hoarding cylinders. I think that is the issue that's happening in India. This is not sustainable for most countries, including ours. Okay, but we have to see what is the solution, how does it end, when does it end. So here it is. I will use simple game theory to understand what is happening. I prefer to simplify things so that I can understand myself. X axis is Iran, Y axis is America. America means America and Israel. And we as India, Gulf countries like Dubai, Europe, China and Russia are primarily spectators right now. It impacts us a lot in terms of economics, in terms of remittances. You must have read a lot of data around it. But somehow we all need to get to box number 4. Box number 4 is Iran and America both will want to come on the negotiating table and end the war. So we all need to get into box number 4. How do we get into box number 4? Okay? Let's see how did we end up here. Before the war started, I don't think anyone wanted a war. We were in actually box number 4, and we had actually moved to a negotiating table, which is box number 2, the yellow box. When the war started, when they had the first attack on the leaders of Iran, actually Iran was negotiating through Oman. They were sitting in Geneva to do a contract or a negotiation around nuclear and so on, and then the war started. So we are actually in box number 1 when this all started, where Iran wants to negotiate, America walks out and they attack. In what has happened in the last 10 days, we are all in box number 2, which is the red box. America and Israel do not want to negotiate anymore. They want to bomb. Iran also does not want to negotiate anymore, because you've put Iran against the wall. What have you done? No air force, no navy, 1 frigate destroyed near Sri Lanka, right? And every day you are bombing. So this is where I spoke to some of my friends who are in the navy, who are in defense. What is happening and how do we go back to box number 4? The only way this ends is Iran has to come on the table and negotiate, and America has also to agree on the negotiation. Today we are in the red box. The longer this continues, the worse it is for us, especially India. We import oil, we need remittances, we need gas. So, and oil high prices or gas prices do not help us. Okay? They just do not help us. So now let us see how and what happens next. There are two things that are possible. If you want someone to negotiate, they have to go on the back foot. Yellow box and blue box. That is the journey to box number 4. Someone has to give in, and there are two scenarios. If you just look at the mathematics of war, yellow box or blue box, only two scenarios possible. Iran runs out of bullets. By bullets I mean ammunition, or America or allies or the Gulf countries run out of bullets or missiles or interceptors, and that is the math that matters. So what I did to figure out which box we will go to, I do not know. I am not a defense expert. My job is to figure out probabilities of events happening, what duration, and position myself according to that. So what I did was, so here is somebody I have invested with, full disclosure. This is a defense startup called Astrayan, and it's run by a dear friend of mine. His name is Dr. Amit Batra. 20 years with the Indian Navy, amazing engineer, complete polymath, and he is building what he calls self-driving frigates and autonomous systems and so on. Some of the technologies, you can visit his website and have a look. So I spoke to Batra, I call him Batra Majak mein. So I spoke to Amit and I asked him very basic things. As you can understand, he's worked in the Navy and defense, so there's only so much he can tell me, although he knows a lot. So whatever sparing information I have gotten, I have tried to run the math on the discussion with some defense people like Amit from Astrayan. So now let's look at the mathematics first and the strategies involved. First and foremost, you have to understand, a lot of you trade options, whether it's puts or calls. Options are an asymmetric trade. You put in a rupee and you expect to make several times, or worst case you will lose that much money. You will lose little, you will make a lot. That is an asymmetric trade. Same thing is happening in this war, and let us see why. And why I think, this is my analysis, we will actually go to the box which is blue, where Iran doesn't want to negotiate, maybe America and Israel want to, maybe. Yellow is unlikely, and I'll tell you why. Let's look at the asymmetry. I'm sure some of you have seen it in news channels also. This is not my research, this is some of the takeaway from my discussion with Amit and some people who are in the know. You must have heard about the Shahid drones of Iran. They cost $20,000, but my estimate is Iran will be making it for $10,000, 10 lakh rupiah. Okay? And the estimate that before the war started, people thought Iran has about 80,000 Shahid drones. So now, if Iran has 80,000 Shahid drones, and look at the asymmetry, to bring down one drone, you have to spend between 2 to 4 missiles. Each missile costs $1 to $2 million. What that means is, I invest 10 lakh रुपया, मेरा एक मच्छर ऊपर जाता है, मेरे एक मच्छर को गिराने के लिए आपको बजूका मारनी पड़ती है 40 करोड़ रुपए की. For every $20,000 that I spend as Iran, the allies, which is America, Israel, together have to spend as high as $4 million from the, the various systems that we talk about. So this is the reality, the asymmetry of the war today. The other challenge is, small drones you can make in large quantities. These missiles you make 100 to 200 a month. And this is where the asymmetry comes. Who will run out of ammunition first? Dubai needs the interceptor missiles, Saudi needs the interceptor missiles, Israel needs, America needs, all of them need it. If you go to simple one website, which is Gulf News, which is the Dubai website, government website, as of yesterday, Dubai had about 1,400 drones fired at them. They intercepted about 1,300 odd, and 100 have fallen somewhere in UAE. Okay, so ये मच्छर ये बहुत सारे भेज रहे हैं, and you have to spend a lot of money to intercept the machars. If any of the allied nations run out of interceptor missiles, that is the first risk. So this is what we need to understand. Overconfidence that we can keep bombing Iran and they will relent, I don't think is working. And you also have to understand Iran is a 3,000 year plus of it was a Persian Empire. India's friendship is with Israel and Iran. Obviously with Israel it's strengthened in the last few years. We buy a lot of defense from them, they are dear friends. But Iran historically also has been a friend to us. Topographically Iran is a large country, 9 crore log hain, right? They are learned people. I will not pass judgments on any of the countries. I only care about what's happening to our country, India, and what is right for us. So the first challenge that allies face is the asymmetry of this war. They send Shahid drones, and on the other side they have to spend $4 million per bringing down. So it's costly, and they may run out of these Inceptor missiles. Second thing that Amit told me, and that is where the way I think about it is, Iran has at least 80,000 call options. So the more this goes on, mind you, the more the war goes on, the less ammunition America and Israel will have, and the GCC countries to intercept, and that will become a challenge. Second challenge, this is the other thing that Amit gave, he has a perspective on this. Whatever he can disclose, he told me. This is one of the aircraft carriers, this is the largest aircraft carrier of the world if I am not wrong, it's called Abraham Lincoln. Every aircraft carrier, this is a real photograph, has destroyers around it to protect the carrier. Okay, so they have named what is there. This is public information, there is nothing new I am adding here. Now again, every aircraft carrier and the destroyer also have interceptors. Amit doesn't know how many interceptors each one has, I also don't know. But obviously they have finite number. The other insight he gave me is, if you have to reload the missiles on these frigates, you cannot do it on the sea. You have to take it to a port. That is the second challenge. This particular one is on the Arabian Sea, and the smaller one I think is on the other side, it's coming from the other side. This is the larger one. If this runs out of ammunition, this will have to go back to a certain port, either America to refill, that will take time. So this is the other constraint that America has. This had about 90 fighter planes. So a lot of attacks are also happening from here, and this cannot be a sitting duck on the ocean. So these are the two insights he gave me why, and therefore if you look at this, then we will enter box number, the blue box, which is box 3, where we will reach a point where the world will want to negotiate with Iran for various reasons, America, Israel and the GCC countries, but Iran may not want to come on the table because they have the, I think they could have higher ground. And if you push someone against the wall when they have nothing to lose, right? Think of an animal who has nothing to lose, he will work only for his or her survival, he will attack you, right? So this is where there is challenge, and if this continues, as I said, it is not good for our country at all. Oil, so this is now, so what is the ultimate end game? If at some point, for example, Mr. Trump yesterday he clearly said, oh, we've done everything with the war, it will end soon. This is a posturing that I think is kind of diplomatic to say that, oh, we are willing to negotiate, we are willing to come on the table, but I don't know, honestly I have no opinion here. But if we go to box number 4 and if there is peace, I think one thing Iran will want is that their oil should also be allowed in global markets, and there has to be a nuclear this thing, that disarmament and so on, it will be some give and take, but all of that will be contingent on the allies stopping all the attack and Iran also doing that after them. I think it's going to be challenging, and why I am saying challenging is simply look at market prices, okay. Spot oil is not the indicator. So what I have tried to do is just, very hypothetical analysis, I will show you guys. Every $10 rise in oil impacts India by 15 to 17 billion dollars. तो ऑयल कुछ $50 बढ़ गया है, स्पॉट का अगर आप देखें ऑलमोस्ट $100 प्लस है. So it's 75 to 80 billion dollars of money. I'm not even talking of gas prices right now, okay. That is almost 1.5% extra of GDP. It is a massive burden to India. If you take the remittances risk, we have a lot of Indians, as we know, in Gulf countries. A lot of my friends have been coming from there, and we are understanding what's happening there. Now, if you look at the prices, all I have taken is Bloomberg quotes because oil has many quotations. It trades across, Brent, WTI, there are various. I have just taken one ticker, spot 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 15 mahina, 24 months. What was the price on Feb 1 and what is the price today? There is a massive backwardation where spot is much higher than futures. It gives you kind of an indication what is the market pricing. I just did a very, very simple analysis like you do in option decay also. Where is the highest decay today? Okay, it is a very simple analysis just to see what is the market pricing. This is not precise. This is just to figure out क्या चल रहा है. अगर आप decay देखो, highest decay is 3 to 6 months. Okay, so market is telling us that this may not end in 60 days or 90 days. This is purely, but this is very volatile. ये रोज change हो रहा है. This is as of today. This could again change very quickly depending on comments from both the governments and so on. This was even worse 3 days back. Yesterday, President Trump made the comment that, oh, we'll end it soon. Today, oil prices have fallen. So, the slope is much less steeper. But अगर आप decay देखें सिर्फ, highest decay is 3 to 6 months. So, market is assuming this can take 60 to 90 days. I don't know. I am just using market price as a proxy. But if this goes on for 60 to 90 days, it is a calamity for the world. GCC countries, Dubai, UAE, Saudi, India, $120, $130 oil. First is price is one part. Will we get oil? Will we get gas? Okay, think about it. Qatar is probably 60% of our gas comes from Qatar. I don't know the exact numbers. Urea comes from Qatar. Fertilizer, if you have to manufacture, you need gas, right? So now, if you do not get gas on time, our sowing season for farmers is coming, monsoon is coming. So we do not have time, which means this has to be solved diplomatically. We are in box blue. The world has to align and take Iran to box green, and to go to box green, Iran will also want their pound of flesh. So we will see. I hope this gets resolved soon. It's very, very important for our country. Till then, my advice to all my clients, you'll be surprised, we are in the midst of launching a fund. For 2 years, we did not raise any money. Finally, after the markets fell, you guys have known my views since September 24, have been kind of skeptic around valuations and what was happening in small caps in India. This is the first time I saw, okay, over the next 12 months, you can get decent prices. Finally, as you know, G2G, great businesses, you are getting some of them at good prices.